One is only a few select names might be affected, and the others have very little exposure. Well, as far as REITs go, to those POGOs. So we're hoping that they won't be affected. Inflation actually is much lower because there is what they call is the real interest rate differential, right? For example, if the Philippines, let's say, has an interest rate of 7% and the US has an interest rate of 5%, you would think it's actually better to put your money in the Philippines, right? But let's just assume that the inflation of the US is 1%. So you're actually getting 4% real interest rate. Whereas in the Philippines, the inflation rate is, let's say, 5%. You're actually just going to be getting a real interest rate of 2%. So investors, knowing this, would still put their money in the US.
Was there an instance in the past na kasi 'di ba Philippines nakatingin tayo sa US kung magre-rate cut ba sila. Let's say nag-stay put lang talaga yung US. Is there a possibility na si Philippines o sige kahit wala pa si US, stay put sila, magre-rate cut tayo? And if there's a possibility ng ganun, would that be a good move for our country?
I think there's a possibility. In fact, it was already brought up because initially, I think prior to I'm not sure if it was in May or June that they were considering cutting rates because if we saw the data, we saw that the lending business of the banks was actually slowing down, and the best way I think to push this is through cutting rates. Now, people might be questioning, well, if we cut rates, it might weaken the peso. And we did see it fall to 58 and a half, right? That's one side. But you also have to consider one is, the Philippines, we have a lot of OFWs, and so they send their hard-earned money in dollars back home. So it's a plus for them, right? The second thing is that's only one side of the equation. If you lower rates, and it will weaken the peso. What if also the inflation actually is much lower because there is what they call is the real interest rate differential, right? For example, if the Philippines, let's say, has an interest rate of 7% and the US has an interest rate of 5%, you would think it's actually better to put your money in the Philippines, right? But let's just assume that the inflation of the US is 1%. So you're actually getting 4% real interest rate. Whereas in the Philippines, the inflation rate is, let's say, 5%. You're actually just going to be getting a real interest rate of 2%. So investors, knowing this, would still put their money in the US. So why am I saying this? If our inflation, I think, is touching or close to around 4%, no, and next week actually we're going to be reporting this. Hopefully, if we can contain this, or hopefully in the next few sessions this falls lower, it will actually be good, not just for I think it not just for consumers but also for the peso as well.
Right. So, yeah, right. So thank you for sharing that. And hopefully no na if magkaroon ng rate cut sa Philippines, yun nga, yung effect is at least yung peso magkaka-affect sa peso. Do you think if natuloy yung rate cut, ano yung magiging projection nung value ng peso?
Well, actually, when the BSP already gave hints a couple of months ago that they could actually lower interest rates ahead of the Fed, the peso already adjusted. So we think at least our house view is that the peso is already reflecting that data. Um, so it's not necessarily the peso will not or the prices in the market will not necessarily adjust to the exact data or decision. You have everyone. I tell our clients is you also have to know what is the prevailing sentiment or assumption of the market, and the sentiment right now is that they will be cutting rate, or majority think that they will be cutting rates at the next BSP meeting. Now, right between now and that meeting, again, do you have the Philippine CPI and the US CPI? If if the data on that reading comes out better or worse than expected, it could push back the decision or encourage or strengthen that decision, and uh, and inevitably it could also influence the currencies of both countries.
Right. I'll sidestep a bit. Si president natin, binan na yung POGOs. In your view, in your company, ano yung magiging effect nito sa property sector, sa banking sector, yung mga stocks? How will it affect it?
Well, let's uh, let's also digest first that the even if the administration wants to have a pogo ban, the pogos were already unwinding um, in Metro Manila, right? Uh, there was actually a study on Colliers just a few days ago on that, so you'll see how much of the pogos actually were occupying uh, pre-pandemic, right, all the way to just this last quarter. So they were also making projection if how much will actually be the difference. No, maybe I can share with you later. The exact numbers I can't remember, but I think there were. I think the one of the bigger numbers I think I saw is that the vacancy rate in the Bay Area. I think right now it's around 25 or 27%. It could jump to as much as 50%. So those are the ones that are hard hit. So again, I think it's probably look at which property companies again that have uh, a lot of pogos in their occupying their offices, and what's a potential impact. No, hopefully uh, in due time, no, there will be other tenants who will make up for this difference. But again, it will take a while. So I think probably just look into those property companies who will be affected. And this is related to the office space. So hint, if you're a bit skeptical on property, probably look at those companies that are more focused on retail, one, and second, which is residential.
Right, right. So it would really take a hit in terms of yung sa residential. With that said, Ren, how about the REITs? Would it still be sustainable given like what you've said, there will be vacancies, especially with the office spaces?
Well, I know, or based on what we've been reading, one is only a few select names might be affected, and the others have very little exposure. Well, as far as REITs go, to those pogos. So we're hoping that they won't be affected. I think the other thing you have to look into, not just with the pogos, which one have the long-term agreements, because you were buying the REITs on the assumption that the income will be stable. So those tenants those tenants with longer term contracts actually are much more favorable. So probably through the discussion with the investor relations, no, you'll be able to discover or find out which ones actually have those contracts. And just through the reports we've been getting, you can also see which ones they are. Sorry, I can't share, no, for some proprietary reasons, because that's our
Yeah.
research which we give to clients. But if you just look at those reports, you'll be able to make those conclusions already.
That's right. That's right. Kasi not all REITs are POGO offices eh. Some
Yes.
are tourism. So iba-iba siya. So just like what you've said, they need to dive deep in terms of a specific REIT if affected ba talaga ng POGO.